Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and we are about to embark on a new month of Hearthstone, December season coming up, and thought I'd give you guys some updated decks to climb with. Since that last balance patch was so major, there's quite a things that have changed in both Standard and Wild, so we'll take a look at the decks that you can climb with, whether it's to Silver, Gold, Platinum, Diamond, or Legend. And as always, if you enjoy the content on the channel, feel like I've earned your subscription, please hit that sub button down below, give the video a like, it helps out a lot, as we're on the road to 90,000 subscribers. So, starting off at the top, this seems to be the consensus best deck in Standard at the moment in Swarm Shaman. You no longer run the wave of nostalgia. It's all about just sticking little crappers, getting damage in, and then getting your bloodlust with your Thrall's Gift and all of that. And yeah, not a ton of spells in the deck. Got Magath here for card draw. You also can just push a lot of damage with your Horn of the Windlord. Ziliax, you can cheat out, of course, with the Pylon module and Ticking module. And Ethereal Oracle is a pretty, you're gonna see a lot of this card. It's broken. It's just like, yeah, a very consistent card that I imagine will not be long for this world in its current version. But yes, you're looking for a deck to play. This is one of the best, if not the best on ladder right now. We highlighted just yesterday, Big Shaman. Early numbers are really promising on it. I'm just gonna lump it in the Shaman category, but it seems to be a legit like tier 2, maybe even tier 1 deck, where of course you got Hagatha in here to draw out your Cliff Dives, your Frosty Decors. Got Nobundu in here, which can double up on a Decor, which is really nice, or maybe just some extra damage through your Turn the Tides. But overall, it's all about Cliff Diving, cheating out a giant minion for a board swing, possibly evolving it, keeping a larger minion on the board, and you can push incredible damage with Horn of the Windlord, Incendious. This deck's kind of like almost control-ish in a way, but very much a very big scam deck on top of it. Then we got Triangulate. We got to note, though, we don't actually have Ethereal Oracle, a deck that doesn't run it. How about that? Zarimi Priest, also one of the better decks out there. Seems to be pretty darn consistent. Also, not running Oracle, but the new Orbital Halo is just an insane card where if you get this early on a minion, you can just push incredible damage, snowball from there, push a lot of, you know, chip damage, all that good stuff, and then eventually you could play Timewinder Zarimi to possibly kill your opponent. You got late game in here like Amanthul. Well, that's basically it. One Clay Matriarch, and your Ziliax has that Ticking and Pylon module that, you know, you can maybe get cheat out in that Zarimi turn, or just, you know, after you play a bunch of cheap stuff. One of the best decks out there, just not super popular because it's been around forever and it's not really what Priest players want. They want like control decks, and yeah, there's not a lot of control decks on this whole list at all. Very scam, aggro, OTK meta. The next two decks here are more of the higher skill versions. The win rates go way up at higher legends, so if you're feeling confident, Discover Hunter, one of the best decks out there. Are like to some of the higher ranked players, they think it's like the second best after Cycle Rogue, where yeah, you could cheat out and get a lot of like alien encounters, Mantle Shapers, which all of course discovering with Rangari Scout can be ridiculous. It's not the most straightforward deck in the world to play. We made a video on it recently where we had some pretty crazy turns, but I felt like there's a lot. This is definitely one you kind of got to practice to get a feel for, to know when to swarm that board, get that mana cheat, swing in, and you got Ziliax with a Pylon Ticking module as well. And yeah, really solid deck. And you can even do like the whole Grifta thing with a million amulets from like either Rangari Scout or Tide Pool Pupil, or combo all that. There's a lot going on with the deck, so not the easiest to play, but one of the best in the game. And again, a lot of people argue at High Legend, Cycle Rogue is the best deck in the game, where Ethereal Oracle lets you just draw your whole deck and you have win condition upon win condition with this deck. So you can win with the Giant Scam, getting those out early for 0, breakdancing and having 8/8 rushes and replaying Giants. You can also do the whole Sonya thing with Grifta and get, you know, those amulets and kill your opponent that way. Or you can double up on Incendious' mana cheat with that, with your whole mana cheat pirate all that crazy stuff. On top of that with Shadow Step, and then get a bunch of Insidious Eruptions and Ethereal Oracle and deal a billion damage. Because like I had a game recently in Ladder where I killed their Grifta, I killed all their Giants, and then they did 40 plus damage because of Insidious. Like this deck, if played well, is the best in the game in my opinion, and it's completely a single player experience, and there's not much you can do about it when the other player knows what they're doing or doesn't draw badly. And again, one that I expect to get adjusted at the next balance patch, whether it's Ethereal, Sonya, both I think are likely to get hit. More on the fun side of things, at least my kind of fun, Starship Rogue, one of the worst decks on my list here, but I gotta throw it out there, the best win rate, Starship Rogue deck, kind of seems like it's like this, got the Grift to Sonya thing in there for an alternate win condition, but yeah, build up your big Starship, kind of can clear the board with Ceaseless, and then Exodar and deal a bunch of damage. You really want to get like Biopod, the Hunter thing going on, and there are lists that run Ethereal Oracle, but they seem to be worse for once than this one, but some people do favor that. I know Hobie was plays that a lot at a high legend, but this seems to be the most consistent list out there. So that's what we're recommending if you're looking to launch some Starships. Pirate Demon Hunter, basically the only main Demon Hunter deck that's pretty good. There's like this like attack Demon Hunter that looks all right, but Pirates just solid, and they really can use Ethereal Oracle really well, works really well with your acupunctures and hot goals. I know one game, I thought it was really fine with taunts and at like almost 20 health, and then I basically got OTK'd by the damage that Ethereal Oracle gets because it tutors all of your other damage spells, and boom, if you didn't win with the early game, you certainly can win with the spells that way, or maybe a Lucky Arana, and Ziliax has Pylon and Ticking Module. Elemental Mage still seems to be good, not amazing, but it's good. Doesn't look like we're running Lamplighter anymore. Azurite Giant finally has its time to shine, because yeah, you can cheat these out, you know, as the game goes along, weave that in. You got the Sauron thing, which is way more important now if you want to win those late game matchups, but the higher ranks you are, the better MMR you are, the less you're gonna see the slower decks. It's not a lot of it on ladder. So yeah, fight for board early game, try and flood, and then you have some reach and stuff, but it's all about the mana stats, right? Getting your Flame Revenant, getting out your Surgers. It's more about that than anything else. The best Druid deck out there, Dungar Druid, as you can see by this mana curve, a bit of a scam deck. You got your ramp, you got mana cheat, and you really want to hit Dungar and to basically win the game, because you cheat out one of the big things and get your Ziliax with the Virus Module, Perfect Module, the Unkilliax, and then bring it back with Hydration Station, and really huge scam deck. Not much more to it than that, but it works well enough that it's got a positive win rate and seems to be the best Druid deck. It's just, yeah, it's really all in it. I can't imagine it's super fun to play, but hey, you hit those high rolls, it makes use of Factory Assembly Bot and our friend here, the Splitting Space Rock. So if you want to play those cards, this is like the only deck that can kind of enable that. For Deathlight, the best Deathlight deck, still Double Frost DK, not much changing here. Ethereal Oracle, of course, in the deck because it's really good at drawing cards and dealing damage. And of course, you got Razzle Dazzler in there for a big board swarm. Reska is still 0 mana, basically, so it's still a good card. And this deck has not really changed much in quite some time and is still doing pretty darn well. Control Rainbow Deathlight seems to be the best slower Rainbow Deathlight variant over Double Blood. ETC, by the way, we got Fistful, Quartzite, and Kill Jaden. And yeah, this is more of a control variant with Ceaseless, Climactic, Reska, Ziliax has got that Twin Module, Perp Module, a lot of expensive stuff, but the win rate's decent. Even at Legend, it does pretty well. So if you're looking for a slower Deathlight deck, Rainbow does seem to be valid. Threads is still playable at 3, but it's definitely not as potent as it once was. But yeah, new cards in here like Exarch, Maladar certainly helps a lot. The big scam of cheating one of these things out can do some pretty good work. Last, we'll end off with Hand Buff Paladin and the Paladin decks. Hand Buff Paladin, still really good. One of the better counters to Rogue. If you're more of a higher Legend player and facing a lot of those Rogue decks, you have the counters in there like Razor Scales, Customs Enforcer, and then just charge damage to murder your opponent. Of course, you really want that Painter's Virtue. Buff up all your minions, and I don't know if there is a single new card in this deck. It does not look like it. It looks like it's all old cards with your Ziliax with the Power Module, Twin Module, one of the better decks out there. If you want to play Paladin, it's really solid. And Libram Paladin as well, doing still pretty well. More streamlined, not running the new legendary that gives you old Librams. They don't synergize well enough with your stuff. You just want to get Libram of Divinity down as fast as possible so that you can murder your opponent with like Lanessa, Leroy, any minion on the board, and of course, Ethereal Oracle in there to draw cards. But we're not done with Oracle, because we're going to head over to Wild, where things have changed a little bit. The Demon Seed definitely dictating the entire meta, arguably the best deck in the format. Not much to talk about here. We had a whole video on this stuff the other day. This version's teched out. If you want to go all tech W with like a demonic project, you're probably better off running a Crystallizer instead, or a tour guide. But yeah, just thought I'd show something different rather than the regular Demon Seed. But we all know how the Demon Seed kind of works at this point. But speaking of Ethereal Oracle is so busted that now XL Shadow Priest, the Renethal version of the aggro deck, is the better deck. The stats reflect that, because Ethereal Oracle just lets you run more cards, and having that extra health can buy you time in that aggro mirror or against, you know, some of those other decks. And it's just apparently worth it. I've played it. It seems like it's worth it. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. The stats indicate it. And if you want to try some Renethal XL Shadow Priest, it seems to be the way to go. And I don't think it would be anything without this card. Like, that's literally what is hard carrying it. Reno Paladin has been one of the rare slower decks to see play, because it can beat those aggro decks and beat the Demon Seed, because yeah, we could still play Ceaseless. We could still Holy Wrath with our Polkelt, or ETC out our Holy Wrath, or try and dredge it, and it's consistent enough at doing that to beat those slower matchups. And yeah, Reno Paladin, one of the most popular decks in Wild, because it can beat the Demon Seed. It's one of the rare slow ones that can do it. So if you want to give it a try, give it a go. And then we got the scam deck of Big Shaman, which has been the same forever, where you know, just play Fairy Tale, hit Muckmorpher, probably win the game. You hit like Thunderbringer, you can reincarnate it, it's over. Things like that. Pure scam deck, all in. If you don't win fast, you're going to lose. And if you somehow get cleared, you're probably going to lose too. But the deck's really good because it's really consistent at doing that big scam. And then lastly, Maxi's been doing really well with this. I tried it out. The win rates are promising at High Legend of another Dungar deck. Dungar Malagos Druid. So you Dungar, and you likely will hit like your Eonar and Aviana, Malagos, and then just cheat a billion mana and you sell, right? And kill your opponent. And it's all about a lot of early ramp and just do a billion damage. And yeah, it's pretty good at that. And I might do a video on this one. I'm thinking maybe a spicy Wild weekend video, because my favorite card of all time is Malagos. And anytime it's playable, even if it's pure degenerate bullshit like this, I still can get some enjoyment out of it. So yeah, you're looking for a little different spice and Wild. Malagos Dungar Druid seems like a legitimate threat. So there you go. That is a lot of aggressive decks, a lot of scam decks, a lot of combo decks. Not much control, mid-range, slower stuff. It's just the way it is still, especially with a card like Ethereal Oracle running around, enabling pretty much all of this, almost all of it. But anyways, good luck on your climbs. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.